Hello and welcome back to GP Film Review. This is my most anticipated review of the year and my first Marvel review, Deadpool and Wolverine. I was very excited for this movie and I've been looking forward to it all year. Very fun. So for the film synopsis, it says Deadpool's peaceful existence comes crashing down when the Time Variance Authority recruits him to help safeguard the multiverse. He soon unites with his would-be pal, Wolverine, to complete the mission and save his world from an existential threat. I'm going to do this review a little differently. I'm just going to go over my thoughts rather than analyze like I have in previous reviews. And I actually took a few days to reflect upon this movie because as a Marvel fan, I may be a little biased, and I try to come from a neutral perspective when it comes to these reviews. With that being said, I want to start this review with all the positive things that I experienced while watching this film. The action was outstanding, the humor was great, and I love seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again. The cameos were a lot of fun, and I think they pulled them off very well. Unlike other previous Marvel films, like Multiverse of Madness, I really enjoyed the opening scene of this movie with the NSYNC song playing while Deadpool slaughters all the TVA agents. It was very well done. Definitely one of the best opening sequences in a Marvel film. Heck, maybe even any film. I thought it was pretty funny that they talked about finding a way to bring back Wolverine without messing up the ending of Logan, and yet they dug up his grave and used his bones as weapons. Definitely a Deadpool type humor. And if I had gone into this film with no expectations, I think I would have fallen head over heels for it. The beginning was amazing. The cameos were great, but cameos don't make great movies. And I don't want to bash on this film as I did really enjoy it. The action was great, like I said earlier, and they did well enough to make it feel like a Deadpool movie. The comedy was great, and I really enjoyed seeing an unfiltered Wolverine. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, and they did a great job bringing him back without making Logan feel like a pointless movie, and Ryan Reynolds always kills it as Deadpool. I really liked the cameos, and I thought they fit really well into the context of the movie. Gambit was really funny, and I thought they did well bringing X-23 back. I also really liked how they brought back Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. That was very well done. And I definitely think they pulled off the cameos very well. I also want to mention how Kevin Feige was trying to hype the hell out of this movie. Saying this film was an 8 out of 10 in terms of importance to the MCU is crazy when it focused mainly on Deadpool's universe. Overhyping a film is very detrimental to it, as it leaves the audience wanting more than there is to offer, making them dislike a movie more than it probably deserves, and I think that's kind of what happened with me for this film. Now, I'm not saying this is a terrible movie, because it isn't. It just doesn't live up to the hype. If I were to rank this film, like Kevin Feige said, in terms of importance to MCU, I'd probably say 6.5 out of 10. The story itself was decent. It had a clear purpose, and it stuck to that. It did feel like they drug the story on for the purpose of fitting in more cameos, and it didn't really have a clear villain. I mean, you could say it was the guy from the TVA, and that's probably right, but you could also say it was Cassandra Nova, yet it didn't really build up or try to develop the villain at all, and I think that brought this film down a bit. It kind of feels like they were changing the rules of the multiverse as well, and that just doesn't really, like, what they were trying to explain doesn't really make any sense with like the whole universe being destroyed because of one being, which they hadn't mentioned before, which I mean does make sense, but it does make things confusing when every movie you're doing multiverse stuff in, you change the rules up. Now, I want to quickly talk about the impact on the MCU. I kind of mentioned it earlier that I don't think it has a huge impact on the MCU, and I was expecting it to have a huge impact. I was fully expecting Deadpool to go to the sacred timeline of the MCU, stay there or do something important there. he did go there once at the beginning of the film, back in because in 2018 he had a time traveling device at the end of Deadpool 2, and he goes there to try to join the Avengers. And I think they were trying to make a joke out of it, but it didn't really work because it was just confusing how, like, it's supposed to be a time traveling device, yet he hopped universes, which I guess he kind of did at the end of Deadpool. It just doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of, like, how it works, if that makes sense. I do hope that this leads to an Avengers versus X-Men film, which would be absolutely insane. And I also want to quickly talk about, this is off script because I didn't write anything about this, but yesterday at the Marvel Comic-Con in San Diego, they announced a couple things. One, Robert Downey Jr. is returning as Dr. Doom, which I am excited for. Seeing him in a different type of role is going to be cool. Plus, I think this helps so that he can return to the MCU without making Iron Man's sacrifice feel less important. And they also announced the Russo brothers are back, which I am excited for because they did a very good job at the two Avengers film and Captain America Civil War. And I'm excited to see what they do there. What else did they announce? I mean, that's pretty much it. Overall, I would give Deadpool and Wolverine, back to the topic at hand, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It was very well written, and it was really funny overall. The beginning of this film was absolutely insane. I do think the hype killed this film a lot, and I'm probably giving it a lower ranking than it deserves due to how much I was wanting out of this film. But it was a lot of fun, and the cameos were very well done. And that's what I thought. Anyways, if you like this review, make sure to like and subscribe for more reviews, rankings, stuff like that, and have a great day.